Right, we're a bit noisy this morning. We're set off Sunday morning. We're in the Mini. We've got the GoPro set up here, haven't we? We've got our in-between head mount GoPro set up. As you can see, our car is not a fully restored Mini. It's one I've had for years, but it drives nice. We're going to rattle it. So hopefully you can enjoy driving the Mini with us. We'll open the sunroof in a minute. Look, it's got a bit mouldy. We'll have to clean that off. Right then. Should we show them this, George? Yeah, where's this? Hold on. Watch the sunroof here, look. Oh, look at that. We got electronics going on. It's looking a bit cloudy though, isn't it, George?
Yeah.
But we'll be fine. Right, let's go. Right, you join us. You're sat with us, aren't you, George?
Yeah.
Right, so we've got a bit of a horse box, so we're just about to drive through Burford up here. We play a little game when we're going through Burford, don't we? See if we can spot any tourists or not. So let's have a look. Whoa! You go, nearly had an accident. One thing we got to sort out, the speedo's not very accurate, is it, George? No. I don't know what the sound quality is going to be like on that one. Hopefully they can hear all the...
Yeah, that's great.
Right then, George, what's the time? Let's have a time check.
8:55.
So 8:55 on a Sunday morning, on a rainy day, will we see any tourists in Burford?
In partially COVID as well.
Partially COVID as well. Well, let's see. And you can tell if there's tourists, they got selfie sticks and everything.
Yeah.
Apparently Burford is famous in Japan for some emperor apparently did something, visited here once.
And there's meant to be a painting, I swear.
Is it? Oh,
Well, I don't know, but there's some of those houses, definitely.
oh good, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. No tourists yet. There we go, the very famous. Is it the Swan Inn? There's some motorman parked there, George. Right, are these tourists? No cameras. No. Well, we might get through without tourists today, George.
No, I don't believe it.
Don't believe it. Oh no, look, tourists!
There we go.
Tourists, there we go. I don't know if you can catch that. Tourists. Give a big. There you go, always friendly.
Lovely.
Right, we've arrived event free, haven't we, George?
Yeah.
So we are now at the Bicester rally. So we're going to have so they park all the pre-1980 cars or something in this paddock here. So we're going to have a look around this paddock. We'll have a look at some interesting cars, see what we see. All right, let's go. So as well as the trade stands, we'll have a quick flick around those. People just bring their classic car along, and you can they've got them all just parked up. We'll try and find some interesting ones that George or I like. George, minivan. Let's go and have a look at the minivan. I had a minivan back in the day. So I used to have an old minivan, not dissimilar to this, when I was at uni. There you go, look at that. He's all original. Look, mine didn't have that. It's got some trick little air vent at the top for extra ventilation. Now the original ones had the panel. It was a real pain to change the oil filter, but he's removed it and screwed it in. So there you go, that's cool. George likes this. What's this, George? A Honda NSX. How about this gem? This is an original. Well, I guess it is original. This is a two-door Range Rover Classic. Blimey, he's had better days. There you go. Look, it's just. I guess it's got. You could say, well, what would the estate agents say about it? All original panels.
Yeah.
But he's had a few scrapes. Got some patina from life. My goodness me. What's it like underneath? Doesn't look too bad underneath actually. it's almost a Ratlook one. This is the new Jeep Georgia spotted this one. The Rubicon Gladiator. Then the whole roof pops out and everything, doesn't it?
I think so.
But it looks like an import. It's got the left-hand drive.
So
But it's
long.
huge. It's massive. That is colossal. Blimey. Right, my friend had one of these when I was like 18. A Datsun 240Z. He had the Samurai. It had triple carbs on it. They were cheap as chips then. There you go, look at that. The Z cars. Even George liked this one. This is one we can both love, isn't it, George?
Yeah, so nice.
This is done real nice. And they weren't too big, but what classic styling. The old Datsun. Absolutely beautiful car. The old Datsun badge. He's upgraded the headlights. He looks in nice neck. Lovely colour as well. Red and black. We're loving that. Frog Eye Sprite. The old Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite. So we've got that Mini we've made. A BMW Mini where we've put the Frog Eye Sprite front on it. We've got to finish that. It's one of our projects we've got to try and do. But this is the old classic. So I used to have the Mark 1 Austin. I used to have the Mark 1 Midget, which was very similar. It didn't have the exterior door handles, but it's slightly different shape. Alright, another car George and I can agree on, the Lotus Esprit Turbo, classic 80s styling. Almost DeLorean looking, isn't it? Design.
Spoiler.
It's just classic 80s styling. The lines, the low profile, slightly aggressive, slightly in your face styling.
I love it.
Love it. Right, this is a rare old Series 1 beast. Look at this, we've just counted the seats. This is a 10-seater station wagon. It's got the safari roof. Have you seen one of these before, George?
No.
And do you know how that's a safari roof? Do you know how that works? This is cunning. The sun would hit the top one, but the air could flow up through in between, so it'd stop it getting baking hot. It was like air conditioning. That and windows with a yeah, safari roof. You see how they designed that? It's a four-wheel drive station wagon. Look at that, the original. The old Lotus 7 always got a place in my heart. I love the fact that, because I've got an old Ford Pop, my first car was a sit-up and beg Ford Pop, and the original Lotuses were based on the old Ford Popular, and you took the old body off and you put this body on the chassis. And a friend at university had a Westfield, so we had a Westfield. We did a few videos on the Westfield a while back. Probably one I ought to get in the garage, really. If I had a garage, if I had more space, we'd get a Lotus or a Westfield. Right, this is a Triumph Dolomite Sprint. So this had a 16-valve engine in it. So all the motor manufacturers are having a go, George, at making their normal family saloons look trick or be trick. So this was the normal saloon, a Triumph Dolomite that you could get in like a 1300, a 1500, but they did this trick one with the 16-valve engine in it. And that's the Dolomite Sprint. It had its own alloy wheels. There you go. That is the Dolomite Sprint. So, right, two of my all-time favourite cars here. So this is just, I was saying, this is a 4-pot, but this one's been, they've cut the roof down and customised it. They've done it quite nice in a primer red. I quite like that one. I don't mind, I'm open-minded, I don't mind an original 4-pop or a custom hot rod, that's alright. Custom 4-pop, George? Yeah. Yep, it's got a thumbs up, we both agree on that one. This one here I was explaining, so this is a Lotus Carlton. And I remember driving, the minute we've just driven here in today, I was driving from Cardiff, where I was living at the time, to see my girlfriend in Portsmouth. And I was driving that Mini that we'd just been driving today, and we're driving down some country lanes, and this Carlton was behind me. And I could just about lose him on some of the bends, but he catched me up straight away. Then we got onto a dual carriageway, and he came beside me, and his back end just went doosh, and he just shot off. And I felt like I just couldn't move. It was so fast. And it was just one of those times where you just got the sense of the raw power of these cars. In what was a normal looking saloon. They're just mental. But yeah, this one's mint. Lotus Carlton, George?
Yeah.
Yep.
So nice.
So nice. He likes it. He likes the
80s.
Classic. Alright, here we go. Mustang Mach 1. Now, George, do you like this one, George? I'm not. It's okay. I mean, it's archetypal American muscle car. I've never really.
If you want an American muscle car,
this is the one. But it's interesting in that the new Mustang is called the Mach E, and obviously they've taken the name of the Mach 1 and the Mach E, obviously, for their electric car. So I don't know. That's a bit big. I bet it drives like a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to have something that can go round a corner. I'm not sure that would ever get round a corner. Probably you have to slide the back end out to get it round a corner. So this is kind of mad. It's like a Bentley special, but it looks like a sort of alligator. It's like if Batman was going to design himself a special, you know, a classic special, this is what he would have. And it's mad. It's like, I don't know, it's got all these sort of holes all the way down it. This is quite madness. Not sure on this one really. I had to get grills and fans in and bits everywhere. Look. Sorry about the dodgy panning. Oh look, he's got an early removable steering wheel now. This car's kind of wild. It's neither George nor I could get excited about this one, but we had to film it because look at that. You'd have felt like you're in a spaceship. Look at that silver interior. You'd have felt like you were ready to get into the space shuttle or something. That is just, look at that, 6.6 litre. Again, could it go round a corner? That's just, it's madness. Super futuristic. But it's futuristic, but sort of not futuristic because cars just didn't go to look like that, did they? There wasn't the future of the automotive design. Right, XJS. This reminds me of the story, I'll tell you. I love the thing about cars. It's not so much the cars, well it is the cars, but it's the stories they remind you of from your youth and when you were growing up. So I was just telling George, this is the V12. He's like, really? That's got a V12 engine. I mean, these cars are undervalued because really it's the successor of the E-Type. It really should be worth a lot more than they are. There's a lot of car. When this one pulled up next to us, he's our neighbour, look. He is smooth as. But anyway, the story was a guy at university, Brian, he had one of these. And he was always unlucky, poor old Brian. But it was unlucky and his car broke down. But he said, don't worry, good luck, it's just the fuel pump. So he said, I'll whip it off. And he took it into his university accommodation room. And he said, don't worry, I'll just clean the points and have it working. So it's an electric fuel pump. So he cleaned it. He had a battery in his room. And he goes, look, I fixed it. Touched it on, and sure enough, but then the petrol shot out of the pump, went onto the curtains. He let go of the battery in like astonishment. It caused a spark which set fire to the petrol and set fire to the curtains in the university accommodation. So there you go. So careful. Don't fix your fuel pump inside, kids. There we go, in the normal car park we've spotted the new Defender 90. So it's in that blue colour, it's kind of cool. Yeah. But he's got no accessories on it that I can see. We liked it, was good inside, wasn't it, George? They were really nice inside. Yeah. The way you got the full light strip, it isn't broken by the reinforcing bar on the inside. It looks quite nice in the blue. He's got tow bar fitted, he's got one accessory on it. Yeah, he's got his alloys, hasn't got the spare wheel cover. It's an air seat. Now, we just had a little joke here. We were just looking in, and I peered inside, and I said, "Look, he's left the label on the seats. Look." And I said, "Do you reckon he leaves the labels in his trousers and his clothes when he buys them too?" And George said, "Well, it might be worth leaving the labelling because he might need to take it back." But there we go. That's a controversial. It was George's joke, not mine. So if Land Rover are watching my video, it's not me being disrespectful.
Sorry, guys.
We've all got another. Well, that's a weird one, isn't it? He's got a big old glass thing going on at the back of that one, George. Driven to extremes. He must have teenage children. Yeah. Oh, look, bit of damage on the old rear ladder. And unless it's angled ergonomically to be more assistance getting in the car. Don't know. Right, so we're out of the normal car park and we're into the show area. So they've got an expanse of workshops and stuff here. And they got all sorts of cars and companies trying to promote their services. But yeah, they got some supercars here, haven't they, George?
Yeah.
They got some. Oh, that's that trick Renault. That's a couple of those here. So last time we came, this big hangar here was open with some stuff in. So where's the super trick car, George, that Khan's got? Ferraris, TVRs. How's that TVR on eBay we were looking at the other day, wasn't it, George? That was.
TVRs do look good.
They do look good. I just love this misfitting door thing, but it's where the door opens. It's a classic bit of design. Love that. Oh. This is the new Ford GT, look, carbon fibre wheels. Again, not really my thing, but incredible bit of design. Look at those headlights. So it's all set in really nice surroundings in these old, I think they're old hangars. It must be old RAF or some old military buildings, but they've done it all up and created a sort of a environment with lots of different historic car businesses. It's really cool. So Aston Martin are here, they brought all their cars out. They got the DBS, which is the new one. This car just looks like it's moving fast and it's stood still. George and all that one. And then obviously Aston Martin have got their new SUV, the DBX. This thing is... Whoa, check those brakes out. One cool thing I like on this is the rear stylings. I like this. I like the way they've got the sort of light bar effect going into a spoiler, smoothing over the back. And they've got these nice perforations around the exhaust at the back there. I quite like that. I'm not going to be buying one. I don't think the boss is going to let us have one of those, do you, George? No. I don't know what accessories you could even put on it. That's sleek, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's a whole collection of different businesses. Motorsport. There's an old bowler there. I took some pictures of Land Rover Defender Bowler. There's some Riley Workshop up here. Some Porsche. Oh. God, they got it all open there. There was a company here that was doing electrification of cars. We'll try and find those guys. They were quite interesting. There's the old Riley guys. Right, this is an interesting company. We've just been talking to the guys here. So what they're doing is they're converting classic cars to electric. So you've got a Triumph Stag here, but maybe this Morris is a good one to look at. So they've taken a Morris Minor. Now they can do it a couple of ways, but basically they have hidden the batteries in the car. So this one, they've split the batteries. So they've got a couple of cells underneath the boot floor here. They've got the electric charge point under the old filler cap. And then, now this car, they've got a direct drive, so it hasn't got gears. So they've got the motor driving onto the prop shaft, so it still drives the rear wheels. So in many ways, it will still drive the car. Now, some of the other cars, we'll have a look at the Morgan in a minute. They've actually mated the motor to the bell housing, so it still drives the gearbox. So you've still got the gearbox, the speedo takeoff. You can still drive all through the gears. Although he was saying, because you've got torque from so low down with an electric motor, you can actually pull away in third quite easily, or just drive it in second and then fourth. But this one, so they've got some more batteries at the front, so they've got a motor down in here that drives onto, so this one hasn't got the gears. Because they haven't got the gears, they've had to get this tricky little box here. This is clever. And what they've got is this box has got the cable speedo drive out, and it must be getting some signal from the motor to convert it to speed that they've calibrated, and it drives the normal. But so this car is going to drive. He was also saying you can re-register them with the DVLA, and they're then tax-free. Now it doesn't matter for most classics because they're road tax-free anyway. They've also got a kit for the Defender, a series Land Rover that you can buy off them, and it's a kit they fully developed, and it goes from the bell housing forward, and they've converted the Defenders on the Glastonbury farm. So there we go, so that's that one. So let's have a look at the Morgan. So the Morgan here that they've converted, you still drive it with gears. You've still got the gearbox here, and you can select the gears and pull away. Now obviously I was questioning him on whether the torque, because I could see you stripping the rear differential teeth off, but he's saying that the actual maximum torque is no greater than with most of the petrol engines. It's just you get the torque from lower down. With an electric motor, you get full torque straight away. So there we go. So I asked the magic question. So the cost for a conversion is about £40,000 upwards. They're using some Tesla parts. The batteries they're using are Tesla, but they're buying their own motors. They've sourced their own motor so that the motor drive is new. It's not second hand. But there we go. It's going to be an interesting thing. You know, are classic cars going to convert? What's the point of having a classic car if you convert it to electric, George? Is it no longer classic? Should you just buy a Tesla if you want to drive an electric car? So, or you know,
cool sleeper cars.
You
don't think they're fast.
The speed.
But also, I think the reliability and service of classic cars can also be quite hard. Engines getting old, not being able to find replacement parts, whereas putting something like this in it.
I mean, obviously you're limiting your range. You know, are you going to go around touring Europe? There's an eco thing, and on some classic cars, you might not be able to get your engines anymore. Engines might be getting rare, and so for many people, it's going to be an attractive thing. But there you go. It's £40,000 up. An interesting thing. Watch this space. I mean, we'll try and find some more. We'll try and contact them and see if we can get a show of. Should we see if we can visit? Go and see them and see if we can see one of the series Defenders and series Land Rovers. Sorry, and let's have a look. So there we go. We'll do that. Right. I think it's time to head off now, isn't it, George? We had enough classic car fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. A little pit stop on the way home at Bybury. We're getting the ice creams in with George. Yeah. Look at that. Class. This is the famous Bybury and the Arlington Row over there, which is some cottages. Yeah, famous Cotswold landmark. And the little Mini just snuck in. You can park the Mini anywhere. Look. Right, we got back. We got there and back, and that Mini hasn't been out of the back cave for Oh, there's got to be a couple of years in it, George, with
There you go, compare it next to the
lockdown.
Defender.
And look at that. Anyway, back to just gone from Swindon to Bicester and back again without even missing a beat and keeping up with the modern traffic. It's been absolutely, and it was started raining, and look, it's lovely and sunny now. So we've had a great day out. Hope you've enjoyed it. And what are we up to next? I don't know, we've got to finish off that workshop this week. Anyway, hope you've had a good weekend.